Get Stewart. Get started.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Now at 6, a Storm Team 6 alert. We're watching the radar closely. Storms are expected to increase in coverage this evening. Some of them could be severe. Good evening and thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin here in the tracking center with meteorologist Kyle Mounds. And Kyle, some of those storms are already starting to move into central Indiana.
Yeah, we've got one supercell type thunderstorm that we want to tell you about here. And there is that severe thunderstorm watch that goes for much of central Indiana here through the mid to late evening hours. Does include Indianapolis. But what we've got going on right now is this severe thunderstorm warning that does include the Crawfordsville area until 6:30 this evening for portions of Montgomery County, Northern Park, as well as Northern Putnam, and also into Fountain County as well. You can see this line of thunderstorms moving through Petersburg right now. There's your thunderstorm warning. This storm could be packing some winds of around 80 miles per hour. In fact, as we look inside the storms here at those winds, you can see south of Petersburg, this pocket of blue indicating wind gusts up to around 75 miles per hour. It was just reporting some 83 mile per hour potential wind gusts within that. So as we track it to the east about 45 miles per hour, those damaging winds moving into the Waveland area here at 6:07, Crawfordsville at 6:14 on toward Ladoga and eventually Rochdale a little before 6:30. At this point, that's the isolated storm that we have. We may have a few more that begin to develop and kind of fill in here as the evening goes on. You can see by 10 o'clock, the majority of those thunderstorms over central and southern portions of Indiana. But I think as we approach midnight tonight, things will be pretty calm. It is hot and steamy out there. We made it to 90 degrees this afternoon. It's 86 right now, but still feels like we're in the lower 90s with that soupy air in place, the high humidity. We'll have temperatures in the 70s, a few thunderstorms this evening. We'll take you through your Monday in just a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, tonight, 2 families in Noblesville are dealing with damage to their homes after neighbors say lightning caused 2 separate fires in the same neighborhood. Noblesville Fire responded to 2 calls in the Brighton Knoll neighborhood just after 12:30 this morning. The first fire was on Bowden Drive, and once they put out those flames, another call came in on Rodine Drive. A spokeswoman from the neighborhood social committee tells us at least one of the families is now displaced, and that is why they are now trying to collect donations, including food gift cards and clothing items. It's an effort that is still developing right now, and we will have much more on this story tonight at 11. The lanes are designated and the stations are now built, and the countdown is on for the opening of the Indigo Red Line. And now they need to prepare riders. Our Aaron Lish now with the call for volunteers to help passengers who will take Indy's first bus rapid transit line.
Starting September 1st, you will see Indigo volunteers wearing these blue shirts and hoping to help you answer any and all questions about the Red Line. The opening of the Red Line is September 1st, and the entire month is free to all riders. During the first week, volunteers will be at the stations to help show you how to use the Red Line, how the fare system will work, as well as get rider feedback. Volunteers are going through a 2-hour training session to prepare for the riders who will be hopping on the buses in only a couple weeks from now. They say the Red Line will be a main source of transportation, getting people from Broad Ripple all the way down to UIndy.
I'm really excited to be learning how and helping others learn how to use the transit system. Hopefully, get them to work and home quicker. Hopefully, to encourage other people that have cars to leave those at home and use that.
If you'd like to be a volunteer, you can go to the next training session this week from 5 to 7 Tuesday evening at the Central Library in downtown Indianapolis. Working for you, Aaron Lish, RTV6.
Aaron, thank you. And as Aaron mentioned, there is one training session left this upcoming week. We will have what you need to know about the Red Line through this story on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. Metro Police are investigating a body found this morning in a West Side alley. Officers were called to the 700 block of West 26th Street just before 10 a.m. They found a woman lying dead in the alley. Detectives did not see any obvious signs of trauma, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions here. If you have any information, Metro Police want to hear from you. RTV6 is working for you tonight with a call to action from a business owner. A work van from Drainworks, a plumbing company in Mooresville, was stolen from an employee's home just Friday night. That employee was on call and lives near West Mills Road and Man Road on the southwest side. An employee showed up for work at Morse Allied Moving and found the van sitting on bricks. All 4 tires were stolen and all the tools inside were taken as well. The moving company does have surveillance video and employees are now working with police to get that footage of the suspects. But if you know anything, contact police. Tonight, a West Side business owner is now out of even more money after thieves targeted his property once again. Last week, we showed you surveillance video after thieves broke into Tilbury's vape shop on West Washington Street. This was the second time they broke in through the front door in the last month. And on Wednesday, after our story aired, this man who you see in this video, who the owner believes is a different suspect, is seen looking inside cars outside of the vape shop. He says another camera inside the store shows the same man breaking the window and stealing a $500 vape. The car was pulled up right next to the door in an effort to make it harder for the thieves to break in. The crime is just the latest in a string of crimes businesses along West Washington Street are dealing with. The owner tells RTV6 police have made an arrest in the previous burglaries. We are working to confirm that with police. Tonight, an Ohio man and a Florida man are under arrest for perceived threats. The Ohio man is accused of making threats against a Jewish community center. The Florida man allegedly sent several disturbing texts. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche with all the details.
Police in Ohio say 20-year-old James Reardon Jr. is now in custody after posting a threatening video on Instagram. Reardon seen here shooting an assault rifle. His comment reads, "Police identify shooter of a Youngstown Jewish family center as a local white nationalist."
That kicked off an intense investigation, a very rapidly evolving investigation.
Police say Reardon's social media was filled with racial slurs and comments against minorities. Based on those perceived threats, a warrant was issued.
With the hate crimes and everything else going on, we wanted to make sure that we did our part to make sure that this person was taken off the streets very quickly.
Authorities raiding Reardon's home on Friday say they seized a cache of weapons, ammunition, a gas mask, and bulletproof armor. Following the deadly mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton 2 weeks ago, the FBI has been asking for the public's help.
One of the problems with mass shootings is copycats. And what motivates mass shooters is power and control.
A Daytona Beach man, 25-year-old Tristan Wicks, also arrested on Friday.
He wants to die and have fun while he's dying, and he wants to shoot people in the way that the sniper shot people in Las Vegas.
Police were tipped off by Wicks's ex-girlfriend after she said he sent her a series of disturbing text messages. In one text, "A school is a weak target. I'd be more likely to open fire on a large crowd of people from over 3 miles away." Wicks has been charged with making written threats and is being held without bond. Zachary Quiche, ABC News, New York.
Zachary, thank you. Tonight, deputies are no longer searching for a 16-year-old girl last seen in Crown Point. This comes after an Amber Alert was issued just this morning. Investigators believed Madison Elizabeth Yancey Edelman was with a 22-year-old man and was in extreme danger. State police canceled the Amber Alert at the request of the Lake County Sheriff's Office at 2:30 this afternoon. Tonight, no details have been released about where she was found, but police are no longer asking for the public's help. A missing 13-year-old from Johnson County has been located and is on her way back home. Investigators from the Sheriff's Office went to Chicago this weekend and picked up Valentina LaCava. She had turned herself into Chicago authorities, who in turn contacted Johnson County investigators. Valentina went missing from her Greenwood home in late June. The Trump administration puts a lot of stock in its handling of the U.S. economy. Today, his chief trade advisor tried to drive home the point, while Democrats told a different story. You see them all around town. Dollar General and other discount stores are more popular than ever, but one group says too much of a good thing is bad for communities' health. Kyle.
And we do have a severe thunderstorm. The potential for some 80-mile-per-hour winds moving in around the Rockville area, also into western portions of Montgomery County. You can see into Crawfordsville here within about the next 5 to 10 minutes. Take shelter from this storm. We'll continue to track these. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
What is the state of the U.S. economy? It's a very important question as we head into a presidential election cycle, and the answer is good or bad depending on who you ask. More now from ABC's Rachel Scott.
Just days after the stock market experienced its worst day of the year, the White House is optimistic.
We're going to have a strong economy through 2020 and beyond.
It was that inverted yield curve that is now fueling concerns of trouble ahead. The yield on long-term bonds dipped below the yield on short-term bonds, which is traditionally interpreted as a predictor of a recession. But White House trade advisor Peter Navarro pushed back, offering a different take.
You have to have a significant spread between short and long rates. All we have, Martha, is a flat curve.
But amid an escalating trade war with China, some Democrats say the president's trade policies are to blame.
President Trump said no bad trade deals. Not only has he entered into them, but he started a trade war with China, and it's really harming producers.
Donald Trump will say one thing one day and then come back the next week. And the Chinese at this point don't know how to negotiate in good faith. We have to create a path forward that'll work for both sides.
24 hours after that market tumble, the president was not swayed by the warning signs.
The United States right now has the hottest economy anywhere in the world. You have no choice but to vote for me because your 401ks down the tubes.
The president's rivals now upping their attacks on the issues central to his re-election campaign.
The economy is in a very risky place right now, and every day that goes by, Donald Trump makes it worse.
This president has not been fiscally careful. He also has sparked this trade war that has been really hurtful to a lot of our workers.
But a Trump campaign official says betting on an economic downturn is not a winning strategy for the Democrats. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Berkeley Heights, New Jersey.
Rachel, thank you. A new auto dial scam is putting millions of smart device owners at risk. It happens when you ask a device like Siri or Alexa to auto dial a company phone number. Scammers, however, create fake customer service numbers and bump them up to the top of the search results, often by paying for ads. That means you don't end up talking with a company, but a scammer. Oftentimes, scammers push so-called gift card deals or try to get your credit card numbers. They also sometimes try to get permission to remote access your computer. And there are several ways to avoid auto dial scammers, including getting information from the official company websites. Stores like Dollar General are building thousands of new locations around the country, but now more and more cities are saying no to these new stores or considering limiting how many can open. They believe it discourages grocery stores with healthy foods from coming into food desert areas. While Dollar General has added fresh food to some stores, it's something food watchdog groups are tracking.
But they built 1,000 stores this year, and they are retrofitting another 1,000, and only 400 stores will have fresh produce. That's 400 of 16,000 stores. That's less than 2%. And when you're the only game in town, that's unacceptable that you don't serve the kind of quality, fresh items that people want.
Lower income shoppers are more likely to suffer from diet-related diseases. Dollar General did recently add more than 100 of what it calls 125 better-for-you items to its stores, things like yogurt, nuts, and protein bars. But keeping foods like fresh meats and produce is more expensive. Dining fanatics and foodies rejoice. Devour Indy's Summerfest is almost here. For 2 weeks starting tomorrow, over 200 restaurants will offer discounted 3-course menus throughout the Circle City. But Devour Indy not only about getting a good meal, it's also about supporting a good cause. Last year, your donation raised $100,000 for Riley Children's Foundation. To check out the list of participating restaurants, head over to the RTV6 app and click on this story. And it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Right now, Kyle, you are tracking some storms.
Yeah, and we've got one that's fairly significant, and now a severe thunderstorm warning for the Indianapolis area, as the National Weather Service is warning well out ahead of this storm because it could have some winds around 80 miles per hour. So now a severe thunderstorm warning, again, including Indianapolis until 7:30. So about an hour or so from that storm getting into the downtown area. You can also see it includes portions of Hamilton, Boone, Hendricks counties as well. With that storm that's moving into Crawfordsville, your warning goes until 6:30 this evening. And as we have that potential for some 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, you can see a little closer view here starting to improve in Petersburg. Still going to take a little bit of time, but some of those strongest winds now crossing 231, moving into the Crawfordsville area. We'll move into Rochdale here in the next 15 minutes. Thorntown at 6:33 and Lebanon at 6:44 this evening. And you can see that this line of thunderstorms starting to build back to the west a little bit. So some very heavy rainfall, some flash flooding potential with these as well. And you can see a few more of those storms starting to pop up here to the north. But we're going to be watching this one very closely for you and tracking it to the east as we go through the evening. And you can see by 9 o'clock, still some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms moving into the Muncie and Rushville areas at that point. By the time we reach midnight and a little bit after, though, things will greatly be quieting down here. Really, the biggest threat for us going to be some gusty winds, possibly some large hail, just that isolated tornado threat here as we go through the next couple of hours. These storms are feeding off of all that heat and humidity that has returned to central Indiana. We made it to 90 today, but it still feels like 92 in downtown, feels like 92 in Peru, and your temperature's still at 90 degrees in the Columbus area. Tonight, we'll have mostly cloudy skies after those evening storms. A low temperature, not cooling off a whole lot at all, down to 70 degrees. And as we take your Monday hour by hour here, we'll have partly sunny skies, isolated shower or thunderstorm as we go through the day. But once again, I think we're going to make a run at that 70 or that 90 degree mark. 91 for you in Columbus, 90 in Indianapolis, and that's going to be putting our heat index values into the middle 90s once again. I would say that our rain chance tomorrow only about 20% as we go with TrueCast here into the afternoon. You see, just very hit or miss. Most of us are not going to see any rain as we go through our Monday afternoon and evening. And as we go into Tuesday, we'll bump up that rain chance to about 30%. Otherwise, it's pretty similar to what we are expecting Monday, with a high again around 90 degrees. Best chance of rain over the next 7 days does come our way on Wednesday. Some scattered thunderstorms there. That will come with a cold front, and that brings in some cooler, refreshing air. High temperatures around 80 degrees instead of 90. In fact, on Friday, some of us with sunshine may not get out of the 70s.
Best way for people to stay up to date right now, Storm Shield app.
Yeah, Storm Shield app will send those alerts right to you, and also the RTV6 app.
Okay, Kyle, thank you. Coming up, it's the next generation hoping to serve and protect. The program putting people on the path to policing best practices.
Your replacement window hero.
Hiring Hoosiers connects you with jobs or training programs that can pay off. The next generation of law enforcement is starting early, learning the best practices in the classroom before making it a career.
You guys ready to start it? Yes, ma'am. Get your partners, go to your tables.
Learning how to obtain fingerprints is key in the world of law enforcement.
If you see it done in a police academy, we do it in here. We do building searches, traffic stops.
And in this setting, high school students take a hands-on approach. They analyze the fingerprints by placing them on balloons to determine the pattern.
It's exceedingly important because honestly, you can only learn so much from a book. You can only for so long read. It's when you actually get the hands-on stuff and be able to like touch and feel and actually do stuff that you actually start to retain the information a lot more.
The J. Everett Light Career Center caters this program to tap into the interests of those seeking a future in public safety.
That whole aspect of just helping people is, I guess, just rooted in my character.
Students can't apply for a job with a police department until they're 21 years old, but they believe this training will give them an edge.
Being able to show up to that door and do what you're told and do it correctly without complaining or something, it shines through to either future employees or just coworkers.
It's very fundamental to start getting a head start because a lot of things you do as 17, 18-year-olds and going into college can affect your career.
These lines, they could be scars they each have.
A variety of skills and techniques are taught, But the biggest lesson comes on day one and can apply to any profession.
Do the right thing at the right time for the right reason, and you'll enjoy a long career in law enforcement.
That was our Rafael Sanchez reporting. The J. Everett Light Career Center offers students a wide range of programs catering to multiple career choices. For more information about this program and more, go to our website, hiringhoosiers.com. We'll check back in with Kyle right after this break.
Rallies and checkers. Best foodies know the deal.
Severe thunderstorm moving through the Crawfordsville area right now. Your warning until 6:30, but Indianapolis under a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:30. Still the potential with this line of storms, some 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts as it moves to the east. There you can see moving into Ladoga, Thorntown, Bainbridge, and Lebanon. Would move into western portions of Marion County as we get a little closer to 7:30. So about an hour from now, we continue with that severe thunderstorm watch for much of the area until 8 p.m.
Kyle, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.